Well, last Thursday, March 24th, legislators in Parliament questioned the contract Umeme had with the government, claiming that it was fraudulent and needed to be rethought. In fact, there was a measure to have the contract terminated. With those extreme measures, maybe perhaps we need to understand fully, we as the end users, why Umeme has tariffs that keep going up instead of going down. Later on, we're going to be talking about our electricity and the regulatory authority. But right now, we have Paul Busharizi. He's a contributing business editor with New Vision. Thanks so much for showing up for us.
No problem.
It's great to have you here. I think one of the first questions people want to know is they don't want to know about the politics. They don't want to know about the legalities or even the legislative arm. What they want to know is how their end user bill can come down. Why are we paying so much for Umeme?
Well, it's going to take a while. For more than 30 years, no major new investment was made, either in generation, transmission, or distribution.
No investment?
No major
in the
investment.
last 30 years?
I mean, in the last, if you say from around 2007, backwards, so let's say 40 years.
Yes.
Let's say even from 1970. So no major investment was, but the population kept growing, our demands for power kept growing. So what we're trying to do now as a country is to bridge this gap, and because of that, all that has a cost. A cost which should have been spread over so many years is now being constricted into 10 or 15 years, and that's causing the cost to go up. When will the cost go lower? Maybe in another decade or so, we might start seeing it going down.
So 10 years.
Actually, our prices are very user friendly. If you change it to dollars and check around the world, I mean, we're one of the cheapest prices.
Well, I don't know who you're talking about, because there is a percentage of the population who do not have power in this country,
yes.
And the ones who do feel like it's still overpriced.
Well, I don't know whether they've paid for power in Kenya or Tanzania. Maybe they are not getting high enough incomes, but our prices are very competitive around the region.
Interesting to know.
Yeah. Now, Paul, is Umeme such a bad deal, or is somebody trying to make it such a bad deal?
Well, bad is a subjective term. What is bad? What is good?
No.
But what can be said is that maybe, I'm not very sure about the nitty-gritty, but maybe it might not be the best deal we could have got. But there's a provision in that contract every, I think, 7 years to re-look at the contract and rejig it. And that's a provision that's there. But look at it. When Umeme came, what situation were we in? We're in a situation where we're getting load shed every day. We had, the UEB at the time was not collecting its up to 50% of its bills were not being collected. It had losses, massive losses. Umeme were the only guys who turned up, who were credible enough to stand up and step to the plate. In a situation where you're negotiating with only one person, what do you expect? The guy is going to have leeway, and these guys are businessmen. They're not charitable organizations. They're not even Ugandan to begin with. So why should they, fall over backwards for you? So, but then there's a provision. Every 7 years or so, you look at it, you say, guys, okay, thank you very much. The reality has changed. Let's do this, and it's all provided for. So I think it's rather drastic what the MPs have said, but maybe we'll come to that later.
Well, Paul, I just wanted to ask you, because you are a contributing editor in the business department, a lot of people believe that Umeme is a bit of a scam, in a sense. What I know factually is that there are 10 major shareholders, and there's some big names that are attached to Umeme. Salim Saleh, Mr. Bitature, who's a huge business entrepreneur in this country, and a lot of people believe that this, instead of being a service provision situation, but rather a cash business. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, there's no conspiracy theory here. This is a business. It's not a charity. They're not here to donate stuff. They're here to make money.
But that's the point, is that they believe
Hold on. They're here to make money. They listed their shares the other year, 2 years ago. They invited all of you, including you, to turn up. You didn't turn up. Whose fault is that?
That's true.
I look at it as a businessman. I think it's a very good business. I look around for money. I get 1 billion shillings. I put it in. And I hope to get my allotment. For you, the sophies who did not put your money, you don't get, I take your share. But who's talking? And it's not true that there are only 10 major shareholders. There are more than 10 significant shareholders in that thing.
It's interesting.
Yes. Now, Paul, thank you. You, in your opinion, our power is cheap. Cheaper.
It's competitive.
Comparatively cheaper. There's less load shedding certainly than it was 7 years ago. It is easier now to get power. There were days when it was easier to go to hell than get your lights on.
Absolutely.
all those things are right. Now, these members of parliament, some of them who don't even pay power, why do they want Umeme out now when we have an election coming?
I don't know. Now,
are they undermining the government?
I don't think so. I don't think the parliamentarians think that far. I mean, 2 years, 2 years is a bit of a stretch for the parliamentarians to think ahead to. Yeah. But it's not new. Parliamentarians messed up the Bujagali Dam, the original Bujagali Dam. The original Bujagali Dam was supposed to have started construction around 2002 and would have been completed by 2003. What happened? It started it started much later, much later, because MPs think they know. They don't know. I mean, at the time of Bujagali, they were complaining that, we'll be paying power of 9 cents. Now that's too much power, because at that time, the government was subsidizing, essentially bringing the price down for Ugandans to about 4 cents and 9 cents. Today, we're paying 26 cents.
Thanks to the MPs.
Thanks to the MPs. A lot of it thanks to those
For
MPs.
a bad job.
Absolutely. They are doing the same thing here with Umeme. What I think is happening is that it's like you have your house, you build it. Basically what it is that Umeme is making money now. And somebody wants his hands on that money. And the MPs are the agents of that, whoever that somebody is. That's what it is, basically.
Who is that whoever?
They will show themselves very soon. No, hold on. They're about to turn up.
Whoever that.
But you know, Paul, I feel like you're somewhat contradicting yourself, because 2 minutes ago you said that there is no conspiracy theory. This is a business, and it's a cash business. A service is being provided, and you have to pay for the service. But then on the flip side, you're saying this.
There's no flip side. You said that this is a cash business. I said, yes, it's a cash business. MPs recognize that and they want to jump in on the action. Or the people for who they're agents for want to jump in on the action. It's a cash business.
So it is a conspiracy.
No, it's not a conspiracy.
To some degree.
It is. I mean,
because let me tell you something.
MPs are incapable of creating conspiracies.
What I'm saying is this, is that, for example, if there is this lurking individual or individuals in the background, is it possible that perhaps they're looking for profit rather than fairness here?
You can be fair and be profitable, but they're looking for profit. You're right.
Are they looking for fairness?
I don't know about fairness.
Exactly.
Well, it's not fair because they want to shut down a contract that we're obligated to. And once you can't recognize a property right, you're going to have problems in your economy.
Now, as you and I, the three of us, on which side should we be? Should we allow these MPs who sold us a bad deal as far as Bujagali is concerned to take Umeme out of the way when probably Umeme is the best thing we have at the moment? Should we side with Umeme or should we side with the MPs?
You should, you're pastor. You should side on the side of the truth.
Of the winners.
Oh, no. The winners are not necessarily, they might not be winning in your interest. Okay. But the thing is this, what we want as end users is we want an efficient service. We want to switch on the light and it's on. We want
Most of the time, now that's already happening at the moment.
Yes, we want an affordable service. And we want a fair deal at the end of the day. Okay, fairness hopefully will come with affordability. That's what we want. Now, whoever gives us that, given their various arguments, is a guy you side with.
Which is Umeme at the moment.
Yes.
Because for what I can't understand is, and now you raise the issue that there is whoever that we haven't given an appellation to. What I can't understand, why are the MPs so bent on taking Umeme out now when we have cheap power comparatively, when there is less load shedding, when it is easy? I applied for power and in 1 week I had it. Now, why do you take Umeme out now?
You see, the whole thing is, as they say, follow the dollar. I mean, Umeme is a fantastic business. Right now, they reported this year profits of 84 billion shillings, up almost 29% from last year. I mean, that is fantastic. And what is even more fantastic is that they've only wired up 500,000 people, so to speak. In a population of 35 million, you can imagine you probably have you can easily triple that number. So, and you can see the
figures.
Yes, the figures will increase. It's about cash. Now, I don't want to go too far, but
no, you can't.
Essentially, these MPs are looking at the cash. That's what they're looking at. As far as I'm concerned, this is a shakedown operation. These guys, maybe is not playing ball, and they've decided to jettison the whole thing.
All right. More from Paul Busharizi as we break down what's happening with Umeme and government, as well as a little bit of news all coming up after this break.